this, right? You mentioned
For
that.
sure, you said. Of course.
All right. This is my next question. The present chief is all up in the news because of the FLA and his firearm, which, according to the
I turned in mine. I too turned in mine. I turned in mine. Too. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I don't need nothing from them. I want to understand the travel on my own right. So they just hold, I don't need nothing from them. And I know that I possess the edification and the articulation to defend it against their best.
Hold on, you turn in your firearm is what you said?
Then there was a time when we operated in ignorance and we would have had a licensed firearm from them. When we want to recognize through law that we don't need one from, let's give it back. So we're glad them take with the thief, but him still don't need it. Doesn't mean he's going to be unarmed. He's a compound thief, he must always have a sidearm on it. Unapologetically. Our history has been that we have seen growing up as a child, coming here for holidays. I saw my chief washing his firearm. Almost every house in Maroon town had a gun. See,
so, Daniel, see, what I want you to clarify for me right now is you're telling me that you turned in the firearm which was licensed, right? That you had a license for. You turned that into them along with the chief who did the same thing.
because then I was operating as a British Crown servant. When I freed myself and stood as an indigenous, I don't need it. I'm in a different status, I don't need it.
Let me complete the question. You say you're turning in them then. So what you're now saying that the Maroons are still armed?
No, I am armed. We're not talking me, Basra. Me, Daniel Basra, the man from Basra, with his garments dipped in blood. The blood of my end. I am armed. Perpetually.
Without the FLA.
It's my right. Then if I'm hungry, I want to shoot. I want to shoot who's going in the bush. What am I going to do? Run go to beg somebody permission to feed myself. It's crazy. However, now I understand the problem. I understand the issues you're coming with. Now let me explain to you. We have Mr. Donahue Rowe, and I come from Maroon. He's the brother of Major Rowe at the Jamaica Defense Force. Donahue runs private personal security, does firearm training and everything. We have our own firearm training manual that surpasses the standards of the FLA. So once we put our people through that training, we are indigenous and we have the right to do so. And once they have gone through our training, our certification stands and certifies them to carry a firearm. That's where we are at. We're not groveling to anyone. Big up to Donahue Rowe. Maroons are now in the position possessing the requisite education, edification, articulation, and size to prostrate, to move forward without having to beg anybody to show us what to do.
So you're telling me that is the reason the chief turned in his gun and not because...
No, that's a whole different thing. It is not about the chief. It is about the birthright. I don't even pretend. You think the school fee and the university tuition them be paid by no hard work. The only thing you get from hard work is doctor bills and muscles.
True. You hear that?
It's smart work that pays you. So we make no apology. We're not. So I don't need. We need. How do I do business? What kind of business is there to do in Jamaica that's effective? When you need tax and everything, and all taxes go to the crown. The commissioner of taxes is a crown appointment.
A private
all
sector.
All taxes go to the crown. It's the crown alone can levy tax. That's why it's the Queen's customs you have to pay when you come here. So it's only slaves supposed to pay to the crown. I'm not a slave. I'm not paying a tax to the crown. And them can't stop me from the business on any level.
Daniel, I have a guest who is going to join us in this conversation shortly. Imhotep, who wants to join the conversation. All right, and we are going to jump into this thing what we're discussing a little bit more with Imhotep. Right?
No problem.
Now, one other thing more you touched before Imhotep even joined the conversation is this. We are hearing a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot. We've heard chatter from the Maroon community at Compound Town, where a few of its residents saying that people in the community getting abused and beaten and stuff like that. What do you say about that?
All right. In every place, there's a hypocrisy. You do realize that all the people who were killed in Chinatown in New York were killed by Chinese, right? You realize that all the people who were killed in India, majority were killed by Indians. So this is a norm of human society that there are issues and incidences. You will not make it look as if it is something peculiar to Maroon. It happens wherever, even in Jamaica, it happens daily. So we are dealing with our issues. Jamaica only forgot to deal with food on. Simple. This is hypocrisy.
Yo,
Mm.
that's serious.
So these people who speaking out, why all
No,
of a sudden?
okay, they may be experiencing something. I'm not saying they're not experiencing something. But it is not peculiar to Maroon Town. These are issues that happen everywhere. The people in the yard where a ball, and the people down in the rest of Jamaica where a ball say, gunman. Jamaica, we have had 3 murders in the last 300 years. How much murder Jamaica have in the last 120 years? Jamaica has a problem it needs to fix and stop. We can't just paying attention to Maroons as if we can pose any problem more than Jamaica poses.
That are true. That are true.
Hypocritical mockers in peace.
Yes.
So speaking of these murders where you say happen in a compound town, when these incidents occur, how is it dealt with legally?
Well, one can always call in independent assistance, no? Meaning, I'm not an engineer, but if I need to build a bridge, I will call in a skill engineer firm, right? So if we as an indigenous people have an issue that we can't deal with, then we might call in others to help.
Man, a brilliant still,
you know. The US embassy if you want, if you don't want to call in the Jamaican police. Simple. So that little hip hop game about, oh, we're going to call. No, we said we are growing. Give us the chance to grow. As a matter of fact, very soon nobody will be needed because as soon as the Maroon administration assigns the 25 acres of land to the African Union and the African Union puts its western headquarters in a compound, then we will have had. It means that when you come a compound, the Ghanaian, each of the 54 African nations will leave a battalion here. It's the African Union headquarters. Then when you come a compound, it's the Ghanaian battalion will be your security. We don't need them police.
Yeah.
If we need police to take it from the African Union.
Yes.
Yes. We can send our young people who want to do police work to be trained.
Jamaica police, them. Fuck Jamaica police.
It's rare. It's the police who is always coming into Maroon Town trying to criminalize us.
Them go suck them mother.
The amount of Dr. Jarrett, when he was a pilot, the amount of Dr. Jarrett, I'm breaking the much gun the tree when he was a JDF pilot, him come a Maroon come cut down. And now after cutting down Maroon trees and denying Maroons them food, big up to Bernard Thatcher. And keeping Maroon children hungry. Here we find Rear Admiral Arden Lewin be the head of the Legal Ganja Growers Association. After he made a phone call to send to cut down ganja tree in Maroon Town. Now you understand the hypocrisy.
Pussy them.
You will not be party to it.
Everything them tell police them run go do. All when it illegal, them go suck them mother again. Because
I still want you to give me a direct answer.
Buckler, them sick me.
3 murders in a compound town for the year, you said. How was that? Persons who
over 300 years.
The persons who committed these crimes, right? How was that dealt with?
Well, one of them was turned over to the Jamaican government to handle the case. The rest of them was handled differently. It's over 300 years. It's not 3 modern murders. And that may I say, the issue is not. The issue, is to show that per capita we do not have a problem with crime. When it does occur, we can throw it down to the Jamaican government and just get them angry because we are present enough to deal with it. That does not deny us being sovereign. Jamaican government turn over the policing of its waters via the shipwright agreement to the United States. Does that mean that the Jamaican government is incompetent? Or is it seeking international assistance and third-party assistance? Good for the goose, good for the gander, man. Leave Maroon alone if we call in Jamaican police to help. If you think that it means that we're any less weak, it means that Jamaica is weaker for having to need the US Coast Guard to patrol its water.
True fucking word. True fucking word.
This is the hypocrisy. So you will point out to something that we do, not recognizing that Jamaica is doing it tenfold greater. Trick them dogs, them can't trick I.
When the police came came in 2 different occasions and basically got run away. What is your assumption that the reason they came there for?
Because them know to them outside of them jurisdiction, they're not done since. They know that the police that chief run out know that they cannot. The police that chief Curry run out know that they cannot go to a station and find a work order that says they were sent to cut down ganja and Maroon town. You understand?
Dirty corrupt police, them man. I hate them.
When I ran the police out at first, they cannot show no jurisdiction over a compound to say they were coming to tell us at 8 o'clock and tell us about disaster risk management act and we must go to our beds in our compound.
Them bright, them
So you
stink
come to the
up.
gate of one
Hey.
named Kinder. So they left because they knew they were out of their jurisdiction.
You know, sister,
It is just the same way that police can stop you Jamaicans on the road. And hear the first thing he said. Policeman stop you and tell you, said, spot check. Last policeman did have to say, officer, the car wash, there is no spot on it for you to check. However,
yes,
you can't name a statute to tell me that gives you the authority to just stop me as going about my rightful lawful business. I said, what you need to do, officer, is tell me if anyone in the car is a description of someone having been involved in the perpetration of a crime.
Yes.
Or does the car fit the description of a car having been involved in the perpetration of a crime?
Yes. Just stop.
Outside of that, you can't stop me and tell me about spot check. The car wash. The spot not there on it.
So
but it's the foolishness that the police come and tell you all the time and they just stop. Yes, all right, officer, yeah.
True. Dirty corrupt police, them man. I don't know how some girls sleep with them. I left some police woman them bitch them,
basically I come out and I say no, I teach the Jamaican.
Them nasty and corrupt. Fuck.
We're not saying that to Jamaican people. We're saying that we as Maroons have a right. How is that code that come in? Enough them enough. We're talking to Maroons. If you're not a Maroon, back off and don't try to get in the conversation. We're teaching Maroons what their rights are based on international law. And that's a hypocrisy. I would say anyone who opposes that right is a dirty international criminal. Because the United Nations Charter of the Rights of Indigenous People say it must be so.
Well, I police them and politicians.
So to go against the Maroon rights makes you an international criminal. Against the United Nations and the laws therein.
I heard a particular person say the precedents that the Maroons are set, right, is basically setting up the Jamaican people. And I know you say you're talking about Maroons. I know you're addressing...
but I normally I don't discuss cowards, because that's cowardice. Whoever said that is a coward more and bucking girl, because 5 minutes me talk to him girl and she must let him. A baby that. That's a living coward that says that.
Look like an unstoppable sister,
you know. Their own rights. That they clearly killed white people for. While white people was enslaving your ancestors, we were killing them. But now, we are a threat to you.
Yeah.
Because we want to uphold the rights that we killed for. No. We have the United Nations recognize us as indigenous. Remember, to show you that the UN recognizes us, When the Jamaican ganja growers applied to the United Nations for an indigenous and alternative development project to grow cannabis outside of the established
law
licensing arena, the United Nations said to them, we will grant you a UN AD program, but there are 2 people on the island. That's what the UN said. They said, so if we're going to grant you one, we have to give one to the Maroons. So how now go on like on a seaway? Wicked Jamaica. With there we are the foremost in your history. But only dirty Jamaica not go on like on a seaway. And anybody who go on like them not respect the Maroons rights, they call them dirty Jamaica. When it's so wicked and hypocritical that you would steal money as a hero from Jamaica and then go on like on a seaway. You know understand? So that's a psychosis.
Yeah, the whole of it hypocritical, The whole of it hypocritical.
If you don't want to take Nani as a national hero and then deny Maroons everything.
Whole of it hypocritical.
Good people with them teeth.
Enough people don't even aware of the nonsense of them do. Because even me myself,
a meeting that was had with Jamaica's Prime Minister and a few members of the Maroon community earlier, you slightly touched on that. And you know, a lot of talk was going on about them betraying Chief Curry and stuff like that, and right? What's your take on them meeting?
Sometimes they have a conscious of
the whole
what
issue with
we are
Chief Curry
do
and
or
his
say.
firearm is a big unnecessary argument. Here's why it's unnecessary. In the 1980s, one of the Azans was in his store downtown and he had his firearm that he had given to one of his little workers in his store. That worker, listen to me, Mr. Azan, you remember the history, cool.
Mr. Azan, big rich, hey.
Big up to Joey Azan, Joseph
Hey.
Azan, big up yourself. Now, Mr. Azan gave one of his firearms to one of his workers in his store. That worker went outside in downtown with a firearm under his shirt. Now, the two young policemen just come out of training school, see the firearm. And when them step to him run going out of the store. And them run. The Azans lock the store door. And pull him the next firearm from the police them. And handcuff the two police them. Listen to me. This is history. He handcuffed the two police them. After him give him license firearm to a man who not licensed to carry. He handcuffed the two police and lock the store door and them couldn't come out. The long and short of it. Mr. Azan was eventually charged. Now here's the thing now.
Are them bad man there run
But the court also said that he could not, because of a man of his prominence and his position, he could not be allowed to be in that position without a right and the right to defend himself. And they did not take away his firearm. This is in Jamaican court.
I true him have money and skin color and him
so
background.
Same thing. Even if Chief Curry was
it's not true no law.
In payment. Because of his position, you must understand you should not try to put him in a position where he's undefended by taking away his firearm. If you never take away Mr. Azan firearm, Mr. Azan, white Azan, non-black Azan, is no more important than black Ashanti Maroon Chief Curry.
Yeah.
Fire burn dirty Jamaica for that.
True. Fire burn the whole system and our own negative behavior where enough people ever aware of.
You left Mr. Azan with his firearm when you tried to disarm Chief Curry. He said more fire. Unapologetic, hypocritical mockers in feast. But this is the corruption in Jamaica that you need to deal with.
But did the chief attempt to renew it afterwards? And
that's beside the point. What we're saying is that there's even when you have a firearm license, there's a grace period. There's lots of things that you don't need to type. That's not even an issue. That should be in the news. Why should that even be an issue in the news? There are more serious things happening. There are more serious breaches within the FLA than anything about Chief Curry not paying a firearm license fee.
Yes.
That's nothing compared to the breaches that exist in the FLA. So why are you paying attention to that?
FLAs. Oh no, the FLA.
I say more fire. And lots more fire.
Corrupt.
Hypocritical mockers in fees. We're calling them what they are.
But the reason why I asked if he attempted to renew it is because of a speech I made. I heard Mr. Vegas make, right? And I'm quite sure.
I don't know the details. We are Chief Curry we talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, you understand? When we talk about other things to do with redevelopment for Maroon. But that's beside, what I'm saying is beside the point. Whether or not he went to renew it, it's beside the point. The fact that you tried to make this a front page news.
Mm-hmm.
While the very same agency, excuse me, the very
same
agency,
FLA have big breaches. Yeah, from 2019.
Serious criminality going on there. Chief Curry's failure to pay a license.
Yeah, illegal.
Not criminal. Pay attention to the criminality that's occurring within the FLA.
But what I'm saying, Daniel, is the very same speech. Like I said, you did upon that conversation that Mr. Vegas did have. I overheard you in the live with Mr. Vegas.
I spoke to a particular issue.
Right.
Now that you have asked me about the firearm issue, I'm addressing it. Vegas never asked me about that.
Right. So
one thing when I give more information than people request about. So now that you talk about it, now I got to show you say it was a scam. It's unnecessary. Right. Mr. Azan, look now, Mr. Azan, listen to me, Jamaican people.
Yeah, unstoppable. Him just, him full.
In firearm. The one that click a work on them, we're working on store. And you know, it's a corruption that makes it. That is the height of corruption. So we say, I'm going to change the name from Richard Curry to Richard Azan to get some respect around here.
So yeah, say it's hypocrisy. But what I am asking you, a direct question, Daniel, right? I'm basically a piggyback off of what Diego said, right?
I could hear him.
The chief said him no need permission from nobody. This is what Vegas said now, right? So Vegas was saying, for a man to say him no need permission,
Vegas
why
always
would he then
depend
go to a government
politician.
entity?
No, he was with that government agency prior to coming into the awareness and understanding of these rights. So now the likes of him still don't need permission, but it don't mean him now give them back them gun. That's the thing, we're so
man, don't go over this
that we do
already.
not understand progression.
True,
There's a time
man.
when me used to have me hearing a waves on my ears. I'm a diamond chip in my ears and I'm
Me
ear
too.
brushed up well
I'm
nice.
stop do them thing there.
And waves in my
Cause
waves
life,
you can
there's
surf
more
on them.
important meaning to life.
I've come into another awareness of myself. What are you going to do now? Chastise me for how me used to behave when me the ears in a wave. I'm young like wear Cavaricci pants and Capizia shoes.
You mentioned, say, we have discussions about the development of the Maroons and a compound town. Give us a little bit of insight on that, Daniel. Make we know what's in store for you.
No, and that's what I'm saying. You will see it. We're not here to discuss it with you. The government doesn't even discuss the moves that they're doing. When they were selling out the land to the Chinese, nobody discuss it with you. So why do you think we should discuss what we are doing with you? We don't need your validation for nothing. That's the arrogance of Jamaican people. That they can't ask the government what they're doing to the Chinese, but they want us as Maroon. How dare you?
Unstoppable try to question him
we
like
are 17. Your ruler, your owner, the
the
queen
little
surrendered
waste
to
girl
us.
interview,
What
Ninja
makes you
Man.
even
What's
think
your
that
name?
you're evil? You know, the
The
same
little
league with us.
waste girl over there
We only just
interview,
step on the island and we
Ninja
black and we
Man, back in the
interbreed.
days.
But we hold a different status. Your status puts you under the queen. Our status puts us above the queen.
Then no most. We're above the queen,
So
brother.
if you want to be above the queen, drop the Jamaican and become an indigenous national. And experience the gloriousness of the rights that it affords you. Because as long as you're an indigenous national, you don't pay tax, you don't pay duty at WAF. I pay no duty at the WAF. Duty is only to be paid. All the rules of Jamaica only subject to those who are citizens of the crown and who use it. It's a company, it's a business, a transaction. I'm not going there as a company. I'm going there as a man. I'll pay you WAF duty for goods up on the day, a couple of days. For the WAF, couple of days. But you can't be paying a tax to the crown. You know, already declare me tax free. You know.
Yeah, it's some valid points, Daniel.
As I usually do, a 96% average from prep school.
Yeah.
Most of the time, right? Not because we brought anything to the table, but because we emulated success and correctness. We ourselves were born as a blank sheet of paper, but we have spent our lives learning.
Yeah. So it's full with knowledge,
that which is right, correct,
information.
and we have simply emulated that. We do not even pretend. We have brought nothing new to the table.
True.
We just repeat that which is good, righteous, and worthwhile. That's all. Right. So we're going to make valid points because we're going to the substance. That's Bob Marley says, some are leaf, some are branch.
Some are root. Yes.
All right. I've seen where persons, I'm not call a specific name, are inviting Jamaicans to say, listen, get your Maroon ID, become a Maroon, stuff like that. Is that something open to Jamaicans?
You see, I don't know about that.
But that you just tell me.
I compound Maroon consistently. I have never wavered or tried to be anything else. So that is which I am schooled in and versed in the perspective of an compound Maroon. And the historicity attendant to being a compound Maroon. I will not pretend, I'm not going to be fastidious or anything. I don't know about that.
But him just tell me, say, drop the Jamaican thing. I'm telling you, if you drop the Jamaican thing,
man in the Maroon community don't know of this, then it
thank you.
No, I know of it, but I know nothing about it. So I'm not in a position to speak on it.
Okay, all right.
Knowing of something and knowing about it.
You understand? Me get you. Because it caused me a question it a while ago, like, because this has been promoted heavily, very heavily on social media.
Yeah, but then you must understand.
Emily Crooks or Brooks.
Way back when somebody came up with an
What
invention
did I interview Ninja Man?
You think they could have stopped other people from starting make weed? So why do we have a problem when sense presented to people and people start emulating to make sense? It doesn't mean anything. People do not photocopy. People don't counterfeit foolishness. You know? A quality people try and make copy of it. Right. So if you want to know what is the quality, I don't see anyone going around trying to make State of Jamaica IDs. But I see people going around trying to make Maroon IDs. Where you think the quality exists? Since people do not try to emulate counter foolishness. From them accounts, some people are trying to copy it, it must mean that there's substance there.
Yeah, basically, from the start of this reasoning, because I wouldn't even call it an interview, it's a reasoning. From the start of this reasoning, because you spill some knowledge on me and the listeners, because I'm looking at the comments and a lot of them like what they are hear. Right? Now, from the start of this reasoning, you're basically straight up saying, listen, the present administration in Jamaica will answer to the Queen. I'm going to call it that way, since that's how you put it, right? We answer to the Queen. Not stand a chance coming up against your community.
No. First and second is all one. They can fight for something after third. But we guarantee it come. We and them in the race, and we are going to come first and second. Two people in the race, and we going to come first and second. Them can fight for something after third. Impossible. The historicity is there. We have the case of the Saramaka Maroons of Suriname and the government of Suriname. The Saramakans won. The indigenous people always win. It's called precedent, you know. So the international courts have no other choice but to rule in favor of the indigenous cause because the precedent set. What Jamaica government wants to do is decide the people and argue with us and create something that stays here. But once we understand that these issues are settled in international courts of independent jurisprudence, and once it goes to either the UN, the Inter-American Court, international court, the indigenous people, the Jamaican government is going to be found in serious violation because the Jamaican government operates on a document called the Order of Jamaica 1962. The Jamaican government is basically a subservient of the crown. They don't have no real authority other than where the Queen is there.
I never see the politician getting a serious problem.
Them outside of the jurisdiction, they do not, in law, it is that they do not possess the requisite status.
And them corrupt. I not see no serious problem we matter about them will get in up. Because them broke every code from born.
Maybe if they were to shed themselves from the Queen, maybe them could have tried. But standing as with Jamaican birth certificate, they've already lost.
This is a question from the comments, Daniel. Someone is saying, what is the difference between a regular person born in Jamaica and Maroon from a compound town? What is the difference? What makes you a Maroon compared to other regular Jamaicans?
Okay,
good question.
If you were to test, we have been intermarrying a generation. Big up the great
this is a good question.
Because when we went down to Santa Cruz as Maroon and tell women so we have land, all 20 of them follow me come up there. Because the rest of man them down there so never own nothing. White people alone they do one land. So we were able to make lots of babies. And we interbreeded with many Jamaicans. So you must remember that we were brought by the Spaniards and then the British. It was 150 years war with the Spanish, then 80 years war with the British. So over 200 odd years, we were isolated, no touching nobody, free. 80 years war, then the British brought another set of slaves. The Africans come and enslaved them. We and them never even get to interface. There was no interface with us and them until emancipation, you know. So, as a matter of fact, do you know what emancipation means? Emancipation means transferal of ownership. Go and check the law dictionary. It means transferal of ownership. So that is why the crown paid the slave master. Because emancipation was the transferal of ownership of the blacks on the island from the slave master to the British crown. So the crown paid for them. So that's a big difference. The crown never paid anybody for us.
True, them just so independent.
We are literally truly free men. And my children, even my children are born to Jamaicans. It's almost like the hypocrisy is that many Jamaicans have American citizenship. And when they're ready, them flex as an American and get their attendance right. And when it benefit them flex as a Jamaican. There's the same thing with us. My Maroonness gives me certain rights as an indigenous according to UN, the United Nations Charter for the Rights of the People. And when if it benefits me, I will function as an indigenous. The same way many Jamaicans function as Americans when they come over. That's the hypocrisy. That's everything they're questioning.
That's why I'm telling you, say,
already. True. But they're saying like, no, why should you have it that way?
Yes. Hypocrisy for real.
They still not get the answer to the question we may ask you, my brother.
You can't want the answer.
You started off by saying we intermate. And then you stray after something else. What I'm saying...
But I'm telling you what the difference is. The difference is that I have certain rights being a Maroon that you don't have. I have a history, I have a culture. I can carry you and show you. We're up to 20 generations of the women in my family was born and carry around an old town. The average Jamaican don't even know which part of them great-grandmother born. Because she could have born at St. Mary, and then the mother did come to Manchester, and then she go meet one man at town. They don't even have historical confidence. It's a big difference to know who you are.
So you're not Jamaican?
And not who someone else says you are.
You're not Jamaican?
You not get your way.
I cannot be a Jamaican. Anybody tell them a Jamaican lost means that you're a subject of the crowd. I want to be a Jamaican.
We've asked the man that.
A pig then becomes a pig. So being born on this island, does it change who I am? So if the Maroon is a union between the Africans who the Spaniards brought and the indigenous of the island. If your daughter, if your son gets a picnic with one of my daughter, that child can claim all of my wealth and all of yours, no?
Of course. But the man
I'm indigenous, I have the rightful claim to the island.
The man...
It is even one drop of the indigenous blood pass through.
But the
and
man...
that sets us apart.
Man gave them
the man who was
an
American passport to set apart from the Jamaican who don't have one.
But
there are certain rights that come with that status. Go and check the United Nations Charter for the Rights of Indigenous People to know the plethora of rights that come with the status of being an indigenous.
Yes,
and
send
see
him.
if you want those powers or not. I want those powers to not be subject to the crown. You want to stay with the crown? Stay with the crown. You like your slave master and you like slavery? Stay being a slave and use the Jamaican. Because right now, you're operating as a Jamaican citizen. Meaning all the money, the state of Jamaica is a company set up by the British Crown. The shareholders of the state of Jamaica are members of the Order of the Knights of the Temple, the members of the House of Lords, and members of the British Royal Family. They are the owners of the company. You, the Jamaican, is the asset. Your birth certificate is counted in the international securities exchange as one of the assets of Jamaica. Them account for how much tax you're going to pay. That is why the Queen, the girl tax the Queen live off is the wealth of the commoners. That's why it's called the Commonwealth. That's the embarrassing thing that you're all part of a game that you don't understand what you're trying to play to win. That's scary. How can you attempt to play a game to win that you have no understanding of?
Commonwealth.
Pretenders, we need to stop pretending and pretending, oh, you don't even know what it means to be a Jamaican, but you want to tell me to be one. What does it mean to be a Jamaican? It means that all your taxes go to the crown. It means that your birth certificate is traded on the international securities market. It means you're subjected to the crown because you use a full capital name. You're in business with the crown. I am not when I stand as a Jamaican. That's what it means. I'm set apart and different, and all Maroons have that opportunity. And we also, if it benefits us, we can function dual citizenship. Just like how there are people who have French citizenship. And they're American or Canadian, because all of your tennis players and your sports players, in order to not pay tax, get citizenship in Monaco. So stop it. Get world savvy, Jamaicans. Get world savvy. You have computers in your hand. Get world savvy, man. I understand these technicalities have been existing and why people have been benefiting this. The only potential that exists now for black people to benefit from these things is in a compound town and with tech. A tax-free haven.
And them still a fight,
black
you know.
people globally.
Waste man and just still a fight, you know, and I said tribulation.
That's what you have, but you'd want to fight against it in your ignorance. We will not relent and we are indomitable, just as though we were never enslaved. Everybody thinks you can beat us. We already show you that. So while you were being whipped on the plantation, we was kicking back, jumping in rovers, making multiple babies with multiple baby mamas. And having all the fresh fruits and things to eat for the last 300 years when you did that plantation and take with.
No unstoppable is functioning right. See, Mado, listen. That you have to do. Listen, the right thing now.
Liberty or death. Or better yet, we will not die for it. We are ready to kill for it. My ancestors killed for it. And it is very important that I am here and that this work be done. So I will not die for it. But I'm ready to kill for it.
Yeah, straight. Adapt me. I wait for him for say. Because enough people afraid for say that on live and
Daniel, the reason
to the public,
good
you know.
So far, but we are going to continue it, you know. We are going to continue it as I tell you earlier that I'm going to have you back with a guest, Imhotep, to, you know, dissect this conversation even more. Right? So me and we talk again, you know, half year and we set a date when...
Yeah, man. Again. And like we're looking for the response from the viewers. And like we said to them, don't take my word. Go and look at, get first thing to understand the situation that you're in. Go and download the Constitution of Jamaica. And we'll type it in and then look at the heading of the first page, what it says, know what is happening to you. Then go and look at your birth certificate and look at those numbers. Ask yourself, do you know what those numbers refer to? So why are you using this thing to identify you? Acknowledge the position you're in. You understand me? And if you're anything, I can refer you to the materials and the documents that you can go to free up your mind from this trick that they played on you. And it's everywhere, you know. So all the Spanish colonies, those birth certificates goes, money goes, and all their taxes go to Spain. All the French colonies, all their birth certificates and their attendant taxes go to France. It's a game they're playing on us. You think you're free, but we still live off for you. The British Commonwealth is because it's the wealth of the commoners that keeps the royal family. It's the crown alone allowed to levy tax. All your taxes go to the crown. That's why Jamaica has a budget. A budget means that they're not talking about all the available monies, you know. It's what they get to spend out of the available money. That's what a budget is. If Jamaica was free, you would not have a budget. You would have a public account. That means you see how much money came into the tax office, how much it costs to pay the workers and pay the liability and maintain the tax office, and how much profit the country makes. You don't get that.
But we know so we're not independent and we're not free. We know that.
It's a budget. You know, star.
But even if you go Maroon town...
3 million on the island. You know, sister, being a Jamaica is a scam and you get used. So right now, if you stop doing business as the state of Jamaica and start interfacing with the world as the independent Republic of Jamaica, it means that all the bills that were owed, all the money that was owed by the state of Jamaica, that money, all of those loans and everything, don't have to be paid by the people of the Republic of Jamaica, you know. It has to be paid by the shareholders of the state of Jamaica who was making the profit. So the British Crown and them would have to pay all of the state of Jamaica debt, you know, right now because of apartheid, a food tax are paid. Step away from it and the British Crown have to pay that debt. And Jamaica, all Jamaicans start from zero debt as members of the independent Republic of Jamaica. Make up your mind. You want to live in debt, die in debt, or you want to start free for your children?
As Mr. Daniel, I love the reasoning, right? And it's one that I'm quite sure the people are going to want to hear more of. But we're out of time now, my brother. So we're going to schedule another one again, as I stated earlier. But it will not be just me. It will be myself and
Imhotep.
Imhotep. I'm quite sure you're familiar with Imhotep, right?
When you're ready.
So next Sunday we are going to do it. You know, once I can.
When you're ready. When you're ready.
All right, and then we do it. So people, make sure you stick and stay for that one day when it comes. Make sure you set it now on the calendars because it's going to be an interesting one. You know, Daniel is spilling, you know, his facts, and Imhotep is going to be challenging some of what Daniel has said. You understand? So that should be a very interesting one. All right, Daniel, my general.
All right, we look forward to that because we have never seen a challenge that has ever come. All it is that people have come supporting understanding that we have to correct for them. There's never a challenge. There's always us correcting them.
And see, that is what I'm saying, you know, Daniel, because see, I'm here and I'm looking in the comments, right? And there are some persons who may not be agreeing with what you're saying while others are agreeing. But see, this is my stance. You see, the reason for this reasoning is so that we can teach and educate. And even
the thing is, I don't want a man who is not agreeing. Here's what I want. I want the person who can show me where what I present is wrong. Just not agreeing, it doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
Show me, says, okay, when you said that you were in error in law, because international law says this, says this. I ain't going off any bat. I'm going off precedents already set in international law and historicity.
Yeah.
Like I
historicity.
Said, because anybody challenge us when it comes third.
Historicity.
First always our word.
New word.
Right.
So that is the catalog of historic events and facts.
One, and I look forward to it too.
Historicity.
So, again, thanks for joining me on the platform today. And may we talk after you.
I'm going to check on that word because, you know, I have to check. It's new to me.
Was Daniel Basra, right? A prominent member of the
Maroon
community in Jamaica. Right, and like I said, it was a good reason. You understand? I'm one who I like to listen to most who know me already. I like to listen when people talk and take it in.
Well, you never did I listen until the last part. You just that fling question and a fling question. But me understand you make the people them know say your question and the reasoning is for the people and whatever their concern may be. But you still have to know how to gauge it. You can't just a fling question if so be the case as what you're saying. If it is according to what you're saying that you question the prominent Daniel from the Maroon community. You know, because we don't want to do our thing like Unstoppable is somebody who would check for and him channel grow, you know, rapidly. And yeah, I mean him not work for no CVM or no big tele broadcasting company where him have like, you know, under certain rules. I mean you're your own boss. So add some value to what you know and take away from what you see how the TV been a do the thing, you know? Because people tired of TV, you know, and how them function. Because you can't say certain things on TV, you can't, you know? Yeah, so, yeah man, big up Daniel to from the Maroon community, same way. And we look forward to hear the reasoning with Imhotep next Sunday or whenever it's scheduled. Yes, my people. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Because we don't miss nothing. You see it? See it? I'm out.